How would you like to be able to work with a legendary copywriter? Well, that's what we're talking about today. In today's solo episode, I am going to review with you 7 of the most legendary copywriters in history, how they approach their copy, examples of some of their most successful and famous ads, and how you can also do the same and use the same tactics to create your own legendary copy. Let's get into it. Okay, so today's episode is 7 legendary copywriting tips proven to crush it. The idea is that even though some of these ads are from way back when, the premise, the strategies, the tactics behind them still work because people don't change. Humans are humans. We make decisions based on emotion. And a lot of these copywriters really knew how to work that system. So let's jump in first of all, with John Caples. Okay, so you may have seen this ad, even if it's in a history book. John Caples is famous for the ad that says, "They laughed when I sat down at the piano, but when I started to play, exclamation point." The idea is that people thought that this person was going to be a big loser and was going to get up to the piano and not be able to do anything. And they were all set to make fun of him or her. I guess it's a man in this case. And he completely floored them with these lessons that apparently this ad was for. So John Caples is all about the power of simplicity. So his most famous advice is, he says, the most frequent reason for unsuccessful advertising is advertisers who are so full of their own accomplishments, they forget to tell us why we should buy. So the actionable takeaway that John Caples presents is he believes that the customer's emotions are what drive action, which of course we know is true. And in the world of fitness and health, which is how I'm going to give a lot of these examples today, because that's my niche, that's even more true. So people are often insecure or frustrated about their current state. So in this case, is maybe this guy, he always wanted to play the piano and he just couldn't seem to do it. And so he's insecure. So he gets up there and nails it. And so if you were to write an ad for health or fitness copy, you could say, using the same thing. And I wouldn't use these exact words because it's going to be obvious you're copying John Caples' famous ad. But the idea behind it would be great. They laughed when I said I could run a marathon, but 6 months later, I crossed the finish line. So that sort of thing. Your friends don't believe you could get in shape like that. And here you are running a marathon, and wow, are their faces red, right? Okay, so number 2, Eugene Schwartz. He is another legendary copywriter. And his biggest lesson as far as copywriting, he says, copy cannot create desire for a product. It can only take the hopes, dreams, fears, and desires and focus those already existing desires onto a particular product. So in other words, people have the desire for whatever it is, the solution is they're looking for, that I would imagine you have. So you don't need to create that desire in them, but you want to give them a place to hone in on how they can get whatever it is they're looking for. So in fitness and health, people already want some kind of transformation usually. They want to lose weight, they want to get stronger, feel better, etc. So your job isn't to convince them that they want these things. They already know that, but you want to show them that there's a way to get that that's not painful, because that's always the challenge, right? Is that this is going to take forever. I'm going to have to suffer. So this headline of his was one of the more famous ones. It says, if you're over 30, which is funny because over 30 isn't very old. But if you're over 30, this is the best exercise you can do for your face, your body, and your heart. Your face. So that's what's kind of interesting to me. I don't know what it is because this ad has been copied so many times that the body copy is missing. Just smudged. But I just want to have you take a look and consider that, that headline. So if you're over 30, this is the best exercise. So it looks like there's one exercise that you can do and get everything in shape. That's what people want, right? So if you were to write something yourself, it might be, discover this 5-minute routine that torches belly fat without spending hours in the gym. I'm sure there's many ads that you've seen like that. So you take something that is desirable and you give people a way to accomplish and succeed or find a solution to their problem without any pain. So it's an easy way to get people to to engage with your copy. And so then David Ogilvy, another very famous ad here, he's known as the research-driven copywriter. So this ad shows a picture of a Rolls Royce parked outside of what's probably a private school and two, it looks like elementary school children running towards the car where presumably mom is driving the car. And the ad says, at 60 miles an hour, the loudest noise in this new Rolls Royce comes from the electric clock. So that at that time was something else. In fact, a Rolls Royce in today's age is actually something else. But he always said that, he's emphasized respect for the customer and backed by research and facts. And he says people don't want flash, they want proof. So in health and fitness, it's really important and results really matter and credibility really matters especially. So show them the data or data, however you want to pronounce it. So new study, here will be an example of fitness headline. New study shows this 20-minute workout burns more calories than an hour of running. I've seen very similar ads to that. Makes sense. No one wants to run for an hour, 20 minutes. Okay, maybe not so bad. So, but you're backing it up by saying you have a bold claim, but you're backing it up with a study. And you want to have a link to that study, maybe even give a few details in the fine print if people are interested in following up on that. Joseph Sugarman is another famous, legendary copywriter. He's all about creating emotional flow. So he says all the elements in an advertisement are primarily designed to do one thing and one thing only, to get you to read the first sentence of the copy. So what he means by that, and I love this because I keep this in mind whenever I write something, is whatever you write, the goal of that sentence or that headline is to get people to read the next sentence. And the goal of that next sentence is to get them to read the following sentence. So eventually they go down the entire copy. And so it's something that if you don't get people right off the bat to read that first sentence, it doesn't matter what else you have in there. It doesn't, because they're not going to see it. So his whole key to success was making sure that readers couldn't stop reading. This is especially useful in fitness and health, where it's, it can be a complex transformation. So you want to really make sure that you get them with each sentence. And so one of his famous ads was, the headline says, "Vision breakthrough is a picture of what looks like sunglasses, but are they?" Because the sub heading says, "When I put on the pair of glasses, what I saw, I could not believe, nor will you." How can you resist not finding out what the heck he's talking about? And you can read part of the following copy. I'm about to tell you a true story. If you believe me, you will be well rewarded. If you don't believe me, I will make it worth your while to change your mind. Let me explain. So there you go. Each sentence, the curiosity is at an all-time high with this ad, right? You have to find out, what is he talking about? What could this possibly be? Can I see through walls? Can I don't know. Are there lasers in there? Can I pick up people's conversations? Who knows? And then Claude Hopkins. This story I love because it's such an important thing to keep in mind if you are in a business like health and fitness. It's highly competitive, not because it's about Schlitz beer, but the story behind it and how it came about. I've talked about this on other podcasts as well, is that he emphasizes how it's the science. He's all about the science of advertising. And he famously said, ads are not written to entertain, they are written to sell. But, and this is not his part of his quote, what I'm saying, but really good ads also have a little bit of entertainment. So this whole thing, the story behind Schlitz is that he was hired by Schlitz to help them sell more beer. And he would tour the factories, and somebody who was giving the tour, I don't know who it was, showed him how their beer is cooled. And it's this glass room that had special air filters in it. And the beer is cooled by dripping over, frigid pipes, and air is, as he puts it in his copy, as pure as human means can make it. And so he said to the person giving him the tour, well, this is amazing. And the tour guide, if it was a CEO, I'm not sure, said, well, this is how beer is made. It's not just us, like all our competitors do it too. And he said, yeah, but they're not talking about it. So even if you're in a niche or you do something that you have a lot of competition and people are all seemingly doing the same things and saying the same things, you want to dive into what is it that they're not talking about. And you use that. It doesn't mean you're saying you're the only one who does it, unless that's true. But you want to pull it out, like in this one, Schlitz, the family beer. Schlitz. It's in filtered air, says the headline, and the picture, shows a room in which Schlitz beer is cooled, and so they make that the focal point. And their competition is probably thinking, we do that too. Yeah, but you're not talking about it. So that's where you want to really back up everything with, what you're doing or with a niche that you're carving out for yourself, no one else is. And then next we have Gary Halbert. The offer is king is his sort of shtick. And so he believed that a great offer could sell even mediocre copy. So he was all about the offer, is specifically stacking the offer. And what I mean by that is you offer, like an example might be you sign up today, get 3 free sessions with our fitness coach plus a customized nutrition plan. Offer ends at midnight. So you're adding this free sessions with a coach, a nutrition plan, and then you add the urgency at the end to make this really hard to pass up. And this ad that I found of his, it has a woman sitting looking almost like she's in a yoga pose. And it says this woman is slimming her waistline by blowing out the candles on an imaginary cake. I don't know what that even means. I don't know how that could pertain to losing weight. I would love to see the rest of this copy. But sounds a little clickbaity to me. Could be there's something behind it. I'm thinking it has something to do with deep breathing. I don't know. But that's the whole idea, is to take, stack up your offer. And this ad doesn't really show that, but that's what he's known for. I couldn't find one specifically that showed that. But his whole idea is the offer stacking, so you can sell pretty much anything if you make it irresistible enough. And then lastly, we have Robert Collier. He's known for speaking the reader's language. His classic advice was always enter the conversation already taking place in the customer's mind. And I love that, because that is a great way to think of how you start your copy. What is it that the person, your ideal audience, what are they saying to themselves? What are they ruminating about day in and day out? And maybe it keeps them awake at night. And so when they tune into your copy and they read it, they're like, wow, they're like reading my mind. I mean, that's the perfect response that you want to have to somebody who is reading your copy, who's your ideal audience. So you want to really know what is getting to them. This ad, I pulled this, but I'm not even sure what it says. The Secret of the Ages, the Book of Life. Do you want to make more money? So apparently it's a money-making book. Now, this is not copy. It's a giant wall of text. This would never work as an online ad for obvious reasons. Just too much going on. There's nothing to break it up, very little to break it up. But back in the day, this is all you had for ads. So it was something that would have worked. And, you would have to, most people would just hit on the headline, Secret of the Ages, go to the Book of Life. You can look at some of the subheadings, which I can't read and make out all of them. Do you want to make more money? Then it has a guarantee. I mean, it has all the elements of something that's really going to work, using all of those caveats. So if you were to use his idea, so think about, somebody who's starting to work out. It might be, starting out with, tired of not being able to stick with a workout for longer than 2 weeks. Because I've found that people are always gung-ho about starting a workout program and then they give up. That's one of the biggest issues with fitness. And so if you start in with that, like how, You're not alone. Here's how to stay motivated and finally reach your fitness goals for good. That would tap into that desire that people have to, and just the frustration of not being able to stick with something. And so you're getting into their heads with what they've been thinking about, and it would attract them. It would show them that that you understand what they are thinking. And here's the solution. Okay. So there you have it. The best copywriting advice from the legends themselves, with a twist for you if you're in the fitness and health space. So whether it's Caples' simplicity, Schwartz's focus on existing desires, or Ogilvy's data-driven approach, these timeless tips will work wonders even today if you use it in the right way, and don't be clickbaity about it like some of these back then were. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to rate and review. It really helps me out a lot. And be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, and we'll see you next week.